Hey everyone, this is a random dude, and in today's video, I'll be showcasing Arcanine in the Go Battle League. So I'm running a team of Arcanine, Swampert and Escavalier. I'm running Fire Fang instead of Snarl on Arcanine basically to have more damage output, because Arcanine is also pretty glassy. So let's get right into the battles. So we are going to lead Arcanine into Kingdra. This is a very bad lead for me. Oh no. And I'm trying to get to this of Creek, but Lex says, how about no? And so he's able to get his charge move first. And I'm thinking this doesn't debuff, but it debuffs. Kingdra can be so annoying sometimes, especially with the debuff possibility. So anyway, Earthquake doesn't do as much damage because I'm debuffed and I barely get to this Earthquake just in time. And let's see whether he decides to show it. Yeah, he shields it and he will farm down, makes sense. And so I'm going to come in with Escavalier because that's my only other answer. And I'm thinking this move doesn't debuff, and phew, it doesn't debuff. And he changes into a Alolan Mug. Very interesting. Escavalier definitely wins this matchup, but I'm just going to show this one Dark Pulse and farm a bit more energy before getting this 0-1 off. And it doesn't totally kill, but I can farm the Alolan Mug down. And he's going to come in with Togekiss, which is not the best scenario for me because I don't have any moves that are super effective against Togekiss, and bug type moves are double resisted. So I'm going to come in with Arcanine and Fire Fang this Togekiss to death. And I have to show this Ancient Power up because it will be super effective. And he switches into Kingdra. So very good play on my opponent for leaving some health on the Kingdra so that he can match his Kingdra against my Arcanine. And it's basically GG's. So I'm going to counter this Kingdra down, but it's not possible to win because counters are double resisted and he trumps me down to death. So good game to my opponent. So moving into the next match, we are faced up against a rank 9 player. The algorithm really is unfair. Okay, anyway, let's see what we have. So we are going to lead Arcanine into Honchko. This is a fairly neutral matchup, but Honchko is really glassy as well. So I'm just going to Fire Fang him to death, and I'm going to show up this guy attack because he's going to deal a lot of damage. And so I continue Fire Fanging him down, and Snow is such a quick energy generating move and nearly takes out. He switches into Snorlax so that he can lick me down, which is quite a smart move, but he gives up switch advantage. I'm going to throw this Wild Charge and switch out immediately to Escavalier. These counters are going to do super effective damage against that Snorlax, but he doesn't get his charge move off, which is very interesting. I suppose he's running Earthquake. I tried to get this drill one off, but my opponent decides to crit. Suppose he just got fed up. GG's. And yet we are faced up against another rank 9 player. Oh, okay. Let's see what we have here. An Arcanine into Togekiss. This is actually a pretty good matchup for me. But I'm going to have to commit one shield to show up the ancient power. So I'm just going to Fire Fang this Togekiss and just farm all the way on. We can farm all the energy we want 24/7. So I'm going to shield right here and then just continue farming on the way down. And let's see what he decides to bring in. So she's going to bring in an Obstagoon. And I'm going to get double wild charge off. And she decides to show it, which is logical because wild charge does do a lot of damage. And we miss quite a few marbles. And she decides to show again. Wow, very interesting. So the obvious choice would be to go into Escavalier. Obstagoon suffers double super effective damage from those counters. And she did build up a bit of energy, so this is the first Night Slash coming in. And I'm going to get this drill one off because I don't want to commit a shield and I don't want her to get off another Night Slash. So it barely takes out and I'm going to counter the Obstagoon down. And she has an Executor in the back. Wow. Okay, these confusions are just chunking away. So fortunately I get to this Mega Horn, which is double super effective. And I take out the Executor. GG's. And so let's get into the next match. Finally a rank 8 player. Phew. Okay, let's see what we have here. I have Arcanine into Machamp. Okay, this is a fairly neutral matchup. So my plan is to not show anything and go for the charge. So he's going to get off this Cross Chop, which really charges up quickly. And I'm going to get this wild charge before I faint. And we miss quite a few bubbles again. And yeah, he is going to shield and I decide to bring in Strumpet here. So he's going to get off double Cross Chop. And so I'm going to show the first one. And I lose CMP because Machamp has a higher attack stat, which is rather unfortunate, but at least we get this Hydro Cannon off. And is going to take out Machamp, but he has a Venusaur and it's basically hard countered. Oh well. The reason why I quit because it's basically impossible to win. But that Charizard was running Wing Cutter, I say I don't know, which is very interesting. So we are going to face another rank 9 player again. Oh gosh. And we have Arcanine into Empoleon. This is a very bad lead for us and we are going to get hard countered by the algorithm again. So I'm going to get this Earthquake off, which should do neutral damage to Venusaur because of that poison typing. So I land the Earthquake, which is really huge for me. And he isn't throwing a charged move. And I actually managed to get this Hydro Cannon, which actually flips the matchup for us because he's pressured to shield or let his Venusaur go and he decides to shield. So it was probably CMP tie there. And he's going to get off the frenzy plant. And I'm just going to wait for the timer to time down because I also need to switch really quickly. Arcanine is too grassy to take a waterfall. And the switch timer comes up and I'm going to switch into my Escavalier immediately. And we are met by a Fire Spin Blaziken. And he doesn't show it, which is really good. Because if the Blaziken were to be running counter, it will be better for me. Because I wouldn't be taking so much damage. So it's up to my Arcanine to finish this most half health Empoleon down. But I have 2 shields, which is really good for me. And Empoleon takes neutral damage from these Fire Fangs because of the steel typing. And I'm going to double shield. I know he can't have another Hydro Cannon ready already. And I Fire Fang him down, which is really good for me. So the 3 and 2 vibes again. And we are just going to collect these rewards and get a bird. Yeah, okay, sounds good. So actually if my opponent had shielded the drill one, he might have won because I'm forced to throw my wild charge at him. Anyway, GG's.